What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down the description. Also, my Glance LED. A lot of you are going to look at the unit. Even more of you are going to buy the unit. One of the most successful products I've ever brought to my channel. And I got to tell you, I love it. I absolutely love it. Last night, I'm watching UFC. Yair Rodriguez blowing across all my parlays. Thank you so much. When Brian Ortega rolled his ankle in the pre-fight, I thought to myself, well, this is money in the bank. And then that clearly did not work out. And if you've been following my channel, you know I've been gambling a little bit more, incorporating that onto my channel, and I was able to stay up to date on all the NBA games where we were also losing. But what I wasn't losing is money on a subscription fee because this unit, all you got to do is plug it in, connect it to the internet, and tell it what you want to see. Real premium live updates. NBA, NFL, NCAA, Major League Baseball, since that's getting started. Absolutely incredible unit. Starts at $160. Do yourself a favor. If you're a sports fan, and I assume you are, you want one of these in your house, certainly. Now, carrying forward, MLB The Show. I can confidently tell you MLB The Show is the most played video game outside of NFL 2K series in my life. But I'm getting very worried. As I mentioned earlier, spring training, getting back in order. We've seen very little from MLB The Show. In fact, there's so little I haven't talked about it outside of one or two videos. Now, sure, we learned expansion of the Negro League Series, which I championed. We're going to get Tony Stone, which is incredible. I love the fact they're going to bring women's baseball into this. We also learned we're getting a Derek Jeter career storyline, which I'm all for. I'd love to see them start to build off more player careers, relive more storylines of what makes players great. And I understand to some people it comes with a personal dislike for that player or team. Right? I get it. Not everyone likes the Yankees. Not everyone likes Jeter. Not everyone's going to play it. But I think for those who can play it, they're going to enjoy it. And let me tell you, you'll 100% respect Cal Ripken's streak more, realizing you've got to play over 7 games per day from launch to match it. And I love the fact they're blending real game footage. I love the fact they're putting in current interviews. And I get that it probably only produces one real playthrough, but it's still fun. And they've really taken their time. You can see they really have cared about the end result. I mean, the New York-esque subway layout it has looks beautiful. To that point, I think taking their time, this would have been much better suited last year when Jeter was on the alternate cover, but I digress. Now, one of the things I've really talked about with this game is the need to simulate the sport, and that comes down to the bigger bases. It comes down to the pitch clock. And it's interesting to me that they've put in the in-game advertisements on players' sleeves. So they're taking that step to make the game visually authentic. So if you're going to do that, and I understand it's totally different concepts, totally different dev teams, but if you're going to do that, then you better have the rules in place. Don't give me in-game advertisements and not the actual sports rules. That's a big problem for any game, no matter how I feel about it. The bigger issue here is outside of that. Franchise mode, Diamond Dynasty, Road to the Show. We've heard nothing. By this time last year, we had a lot to talk about. We had gameplay. We had whole series on two-way players, DH roles. We'd seen mini seasons, player captains. We'd already been told, hey, the pitch clock won't work this year. The bigger bases can't be in the game. But more importantly, we had the tech test. The tech test is critical. And I'll offer that to you for a couple reasons. Number one, it's the best way for this game to advertise. I mean, let's be honest. Let's take it outside of video games. Let's talk about movies. You think when a company makes a trailer for a horror movie, they say, listen, we're going to intentionally show this trailer, but we know most of the people that watch it aren't going to want to see a horror movie. No. They say, listen, we're going to have people convert over. They're going to watch this trailer and they can say, listen, I don't normally like horror movies, but I'm going to watch this one. That's what the tech test does. The tech test lets you play a game as a non-baseball fan and say, you know what, this game is fun. But more importantly, let creators like myself and others make footage with it and show you, hey, this game can be fun. This game can simulate sports. Don't you want to play that even if you're not the biggest baseball fan? I've long said on my channel that a quality video game can translate into someone becoming a fan of the sport. It makes you care. So the fact this hasn't happened is astonishing to me. And if the fact that that hasn't happened yet isn't terrifying to you as a gamer, it doesn't look like short term anything is going to change. Because unless they drop an unplanned marketing release, we're not going to see anything else until this game is a week from release. How is this even possible? How do we even get to this point? Because to me, it would appear that there's nothing to show. It would appear that there's nothing for them to actually promote. I think if you look at the pulse of the MLB The Show community, there's an overwhelming amount of people that I will put myself in line with that say this is the best current simulation sports game there is. This game pays attention to detail. This game, clearly has people working on it that love the sport. And I truly feel like they want to put out the best product they can. But all of those people, myself included, are also saying, hey, the game's getting a little bit stale. The things that you've put in are good. The way we kind of had a little bit of a change to how we throw into bases last year was nice, but things are still getting very repetitious. The game is starting to get a little boring. There isn't enough to separate players who are special. And here we are, just a couple years removed from them coming out with a whole dev diary on how they had to change the game for Shohei Ohtani. They had to change how stamina worked in the game so that him pitching versus him hitting didn't have an effect. That is the level of detail and respect for the game as the sport of Major League Baseball I've come to see from this team. But at the same time, we're not seeing anything innovative. And I do understand there's going to be a large group of people that say, well, what works, works. I'm not going to argue that. Clearly, the game sells well. Clearly, the game is beloved. But if you think that adding the Kingdome, which is what they've done so far, to a game is going to make me go back and play it more, then you're sadly mistaken. Or you're not playing the game as much as others are playing the game. Because from what I can see, the people that make content with this game, the people that play this game continually, a lot of us are tired of seeing the same thing. And yes, every so often we see that 1 in a million. Every time a pitcher gets hit with a ball, I usually show it. I've got a glitch at Camden Yards. I'm going to show it. They're one in thousands and thousands and thousands of hits. But at the same time, that's not becoming enough for us to continue playing the game. And I hate to say it, but we're starting to kind of go down that path of not nearly as poor quality of a product as Madden, but we're starting to go down that same path of the community wants changes, the community wants progress, and we're just not seeing it. We're getting things implemented in the game we don't ask for, right? And just because they're implemented better or just because they're implemented in a more quality way doesn't mean that we didn't ask for them. It doesn't mean that we're not thankful we got them. But it still nevertheless does show that they're putting things in the game we're really not asking for while ignoring actual complaints we have about the game and things we want to make it better, or in most cases, just true to the sport. So I would absolutely love to know your guys' thoughts on this. I appreciate you watching this video. I will be back tomorrow with more commentary.